In this first video of this electromagnetic subject, we will discuss some prerequisites required to understand electromagnetics. In our day-to-day life, we come across various electronic equipments, gadgets like phones, uh, mobile phones, landlines, right? Uh, the computers. So almost all these equipments make use of electromagnetic waves. We also come across various antennas. So all these different types of antennas transmit or receive electrical energy in the form of electromagnetic waves. Now, when this electromagnetic wave propagates through space, we must be able to analyze its behavior. So for that purpose, it must be represented in mathematical form. So to represent this electromagnetic waves mathematically, we need vector analysis. Okay, so that's why it's very essential to have the fundamental concepts of vectors to understand this subject. So the prerequisites required for this subject are some basic university physics, as I said, vectors, matrices, complex numbers, partial differentiation, multiple integrals, vector analysis, and so on. So out of this, some few concepts about vector analysis we'll discuss, like scalars, vectors. So scalar we define as it's some quantity, physical quantity having some magnitude and some algebraic sign. So the actual examples, real life examples are temperature, mass, charge, and work. Whereas vector has both magnitude and direction. So the examples are velocity, force, electric field, and magnetic field. Scalar is represented by simple letters like A, B, and vector is represented by bold A and B, or A bar, B bar. So in our subject, while representing vectors, we'll be mostly making use of this A bar and B bar. Now to represent the directions of these vectors, we also need the unit vectors. So the unit vectors are represented by bold face letters or small a bar and small b bar. Now what exactly is scalar, vector, and what are these unit vectors that we are going to discuss. Now any vector A, it can be represented, for example, in Cartesian coordinate system in this form. So vector A, ax, comma ay, comma az. So where ax, ay, az are known as these are the components of vector A in x direction, y direction, and z direction. So this is one way of representing this vector A. The other way of representing vector A is ax bar, ay bar, az plus az bar. So if we are using a three-dimensional coordinate system, then ax this is the component of A in x direction, ay this is the component of ay in y direction, and az this is the component of A in z direction, where ax, ay, and az are the unit vectors which represent the directions along those respective coordinate axes. Magnitude of vector A is represented as A equal to modulus A bar, and the unit vector A is nothing but magnitude of vector A divided by vector A. So this is how we calculate the unit vector. Now any two vectors in the coordinate system can be added or subtracted. So in that case, we add the corresponding x component of the vector. For example, in this case, if I want to add two vectors A and B, I add the corresponding x components, that is ax plus bx, corresponding y component, that is ay plus by, and the corresponding z component, that is az plus bz, az. So in the same manner, we can subtract the two vectors by subtracting the corresponding x components, y components, and z components. We also come across dot product. Now the dot product between two vectors is represented as a dot b, or b dot a. Now this dot product is a scalar quantity, so because of that a dot b is equal to b dot a. So to calculate this dot product, we use this formula. So a dot b equal to b dot a, so that is ab cos theta. Alternately, we can also calculate this dot product by taking the corresponding products of the x component of vector a multiplied by x component of vector b, y component of vector a multiplied by y component of vector b, and z component of vector a multiplied by z component of vector b. So these are the two ways how we find out the dot product. Now the application of dot product is to find out the component of one vector in the other direction, in the direction of some other vector. So in this case, suppose I have some vector a, this is vector a, so there is another vector, vector b. Now if I want to find out what is the component of this vector b in the direction of vector a, then we can find out using this. So where small a, it is the unit vector in direction a, it is a unit vector in direction a. So what we do is, if I want to find out the component of vector b in the direction of vector a, then I take product of dot product of vector b and the unit vector in the direction of a. So that is the application of this dot product, finding out component of one vector in the direction of other vector. Then cross product, it is denoted as a cross b equal to ab sin theta an, where an, it is the normal vector to both a and b. So the major difference between scalar product and the cross product is that the cross product, it is a vector quantity and the direction is perpendicular to both vectors a and b. So that direction is represented by an. So and theta, it is the angle between vectors a and b. So to calculate the cross product between vector a and b, we use this matrix notation. So we find out the x component of the product. So x component is axbz minus azby plus the y component ay, this is axaz minus axbz. Similarly, the z component, it is axby minus aybx. The cross product of the two vectors is a vector, so as we already discussed. Now if the cross product a cross b, it is not same as cross product of b cross a. The magnitude is same, but the direction is opposite. So here a cross b is equal to minus b cross a. Now if I have two vectors, vector a and vector b, then the cross product of this vector, these two vectors can be the direction of the cross product of these two vectors can be represented by this right-handed screw. So if I rotate this right-handed screw in the clockwise direction, in the direction of a to b, then in that case the screw moment of the screw, it is downwards, so that represents the direction of this cross product between a and b. So this is about cross product. Now these are the fundamentals we will need while discussing the coordinate systems. Now in this subject we are going to study the three different types of coordinate systems: the Cartesian coordinate system, cylindrical coordinate system, and spherical coordinate system. So Now you may ask question, why three coordinate systems? This is because it depends on the geometry of the problem or what type of shape you are using to solve the problem. For example, if I want to find out the electric charge distribution inside some classroom. Now the classroom, it is more convenient to represent in the form of Cartesian coordinate system, because each and every shape, it is in the rectangular form. So in that case we will apply Cartesian coordinate vector analysis. Whereas if I want to find out the electric charge distribution in cylindrical in some object which is cylindrical in nature, then in that case we will make use of cylindrical coordinate system. Whereas if I want to find out some charge distribution inside the sphere like earth or any ball spherical object, then in that case we use spherical coordinate system. So because of this, it is necessary to study all the three types of coordinate system. We can always convert any vector or any plane, any point from one coordinate system to other coordinate system. So these are the things which we are going to discuss in the next video.